Hi, I would like to continue our video conference, hoping that it's been watched not only by trolls and those who try to display this irritation and resentment because they find certain knowledge incomprehensible, but also by those who really want to get a bit information, food for thought. It's a pity that my statements and information I give is being prevented not only by internet trolls, but also those who have been trying to eliminate me as hated public figure. They already banned me from appearing on TV, newspapers, and now they tried to ban me from internet either. It's also a pity that even intelligent people are being irritated with such information. It's a type of psychological phenomenon. People can only apprehend information that deviates from what they know just a little bit. But if the difference is rather big, the information like this hits person in the forehead and he protests. It means his consciousness is not wide enough to take such information. I don't want to be blamed by vulgar, PR because of the fact. I really want to give you information you don't have, and you will not hear from TV or even internet cause it must gathered and systematized. I obtain information from my numerous journeys, and all information I give is confirmed by life itself because I use it on the practice. I would like to give you real food for thought. You'd better think over this information instead of joking and ridiculing. You know, I'm really leaving myself wide open giving you this information that contradicts standards and stereotypes. But this is my credo. I really want to widen consciousness of narrow-minded people because we all together live on Earth and already get into an abyss. Of course you might revolt against it, but just take time to think about it. What if it's all true? Watch documentary Project Through Apocalypse Part 1 about space. There are many details from archaeology and history are given. I hope observant people do understand that nothing is accidental in our life. So, are we moving toward the end of the light or darkness? All predictions about 3 days of darkness were brought to discussion by mass media long before I joined this conversation. I did not raise panic on Earth, in international community and in Russia. But I gave my information about existence of evil and divine forces just in time, when people have already begun to panic. Many highly intelligent and enlightened people like Helena Blavatsky and Helena Rerich talked about it. Also, Hitler and Stalin have been looking for Shambhala, the city of light. This information is open and known. I just reminded to you. So, what happened on December 21st, 2012? Take a look at all events that happened those days. Those were unusual days. A lot of natural and man-made disasters happened. And what has happened? And what has happened in those 3 days is really outstanding. Hundreds of thousands of people stayed without electricity, light. Snowfalls and floods happened where it was not supposed to happen according to climate zone. There were so many earthquakes that days as never before. People ask me questions about Nibiru. Something like, where is it? Why didn't it fly to the Earth? But it's great that it didn't come. Remember predictions of Hopi Indians. They said first blue Kachina would come and then the red one, if humanity do not come to their senses. That's what all my appeals to you about. I'm very happy that nothing happened, because many people listened to me, and they were praying for forgiveness a lot for several days. And people were forgiven. So, why Nibiru didn't come? Probably because people have earned a good overall karma, and that's why I managed to avoid the end of the world. And the comet's poisonous gas tail did not touch the Earth. By the way, the Nibiru planet was not only depicted on Sumerians' frescoes. Take a look at the memorial of George Washington. There also you can find a depiction of Nibiru planet with 2 snakes. Do you know that all American presidents were Masons and Americans do not conceal it? Actually, you can officially join Masons there. But the question is under what pretension they offer it to people. Everyone knows that this lodge possesses esoteric knowledge. It does operate, and I think some presidents, not only Africans, have left the lodge because many people got to understand who really governs countries and control their lives. It's shown in many documentaries. It's not hard to guess if people were members of Masonic secret society, they govern the country by the rules of the secret society, but not by the ideas of democracy and love of fellow man. Probably that is why I undergo an oppression. I give people an information openly and make them think about the most important things in their lives. Not about fast and deeply personal issues, but also about the meaning of life and about how we should live in new age. I'm happy that overall people's karma is not that bad. We are not that sinful, and that we stay alive. Nevertheless, in the near future I will try to give you some systematized information that alien reptiles do exist. David Icke talks a lot about it. I used to laugh at this information either, but I began to study it then. You know, long time ago I read a newspaper article about one scientist. He was so irritated with all those talks about the other world and life after death that he began to study those questions with his like-minded friends. He finally came to conclusion that life after death does exist. After it, all irritation was swept away. When he died, he began to write letters from the other world. He found a medium in Africa and dictated the woman information. And she wrote letters to America with information she could never obtain by herself. She wrote what the scientist knew. I will keep talking about all these things even despite of barracking. So here is a question. You, as a person with extrasensory perception, should know where Nibiru and spaceships are now. You know, there are so many spaceships in the sky. I, as an internet user, advise you to take a look. This information is in free access. Huge spaceships are stealing energy of the sun, especially in the area of sunspots. It's recorded by telescopes. Neil Armstrong, an American astronaut, is sure that he saw a lot of spaceships on the backside of the moon. There are a lot of eyewitnesses of the UFOs. I know many of them. UFO spaceships did not go anywhere. They are still flying in the atmosphere of the Earth. Ufologists study the issue, sometimes for the whole life. They are interested in it and understand it's real. So go on internet, search for information about UFOs, spaceships, and you'll see they all appear. They're still here. Again, they are here by authority of cosmic law. There are international laws and there are cosmic laws. Aliens have no right to intervene bluntly in our civilization. That is why they just fly close, hoping that something will change, and they would be given a prediction to step in. That is what I think. Actually, if you just look up at the night sky, more often you'll see so many UFOs. They fly zigzag, join, break up, light up, and go out. I'm like being into bioenergetic. There are a lot of spaceships around me. I wish you to learn the picture of the night sky. What will happen with people who won't manage to change themselves now? It's up to the people. Another type of energy is coming, as you can see according to schedule of HAARP. Very powerful and instant vertical surge in energy of the planet are registered by HAARP. This fact proves that the energy of the planet is changing since December 19th. So people will react in different ways, individually. If we have statistics, we'll see the number of people got sick and died. The thing is that it should not be a war, fire, or tsunami. The mortality of the humanity is rising now. People who don't believe in the end of the world show off. How to explain them that it means the beginning, not the end? You know what Jesus Christ said? He who has the ears to hear, let him hear. And that time people didn't want to hear him, where he came. Why? People were sinful. He came to bring them the reason, and they didn't want to follow him. Certainly people are straight out and mean nothing except their opinion and knowledge. People do not want to know something wider than their mind and will not listen to somebody else. But if just 1 of 100 will hear, it's worth saying about it. So don't mind the people showing off and blaming you. Just pray for his life to show him the sign and give a chance to understand. And I think it will happen without fail. If you won't pray, he will get stuck as he don't want to see the right way. Once again, people who do not believe me about December 21st and information about shifting into the new era just because nothing happened are very narrow-minded people. I didn't say that it necessarily would happen. People, let's pray. Let's analyze ourselves. Let's get better, so nothing will happen. It means that people just hear the first half of sentence and the second part is ignored. I said we must do everything that nothing terrible could happen. And we stay in every nerve to do everything. Distributed a lot of leaflets, released videotapes, what to do and how to do everything. And we should be glad the people heard. And do not get upset that nothing happened. It's so great that we have done everything. We released booklets, leaflets, videotapes. I visited 30 towns of Russia. I explained people that we have 2 ways, to the light and to the dark. And people chose the light. They are fine. On the other hand, you accuse me of creeping with all this. It's not true. You think like that. You said that I wanted PR. As Christ said, you said that. And do not apply your minds and the level of your thinking to me. Are attendees of your academy getting younger? Yes, they are. Our people are 10 and 15 years younger than they age. Moreover, they have developed some of the talent, and I advise you not giggle. I guess your abilities to act are the same as questions. Here's the question about the burial, about elongated skulls from Mesoamerica. I want to say that Egyptians painted the same skulls on Akhenatons, Nefertiti's and their children's tombs. Just imagine that the same skulls and signs were found on the both hemisphere, on the west and on the east. So, these race of people with elongated skulls were on both hemispheres. Also, America had not been discovered yet. This is indirect proof of the fact that the alien civilization ruled over Egypt and Mexico. There was the same necroculture of the called dead on the both hemisphere, which were not linked to each other with traffic artery due to low development of navigation. Think about it, please. Continuing questions about December 21st. Do we need to be serious about our dreams? You know, people always took dreams seriously. The question is that now there are technologies, when our dreams specially, implemented into a human under hypnosis. A man sleeps, hypnotizer enters into him. So think about your dreams however you want. What is the next date for the end of the world? You should read the astrologers. The end of the world has come, and the beginning of a new era, transitional period, will go somewhere until the next equinox. Shifting to the era in length of 5,125 years cannot happen in one day. All your limited thinking, limited mind, and your education show you macro questions. If you're really into the topic, not so narrowly and shortly and with pleasure to pick up, but really with consciousness, you should ask, how will be the shifting to the next stage of 5,000 years characterized? It was the Dark Age, according to all philosophers and scientists. And the Golden Age began, and completely new life is about to start. Of course, the shifting will be rough, and with cataclysm. These days there have been a lot already. I tell you again, it will go along with some social disruptions and events. Ars Muldashev about Atlantis, about messages of Psalm and how to connect to universal bank of knowledge and get the information how to build just society on the earth. Actually, there is a library, but the door is closed and the key is hidden. There is an informational and spatial bank, and thought is an instant. You can appear on any planet via thoughts. By the way, the aliens can appear here too. They're often more developed and use such technologies. So, if you succeed in spiritual development, that you won't use this knowledge to the detriment of human being and space, you will enter into this data bank. But while you have not such development, you cannot look for and ask for the key. I am the adherent of common sense, and by the way, in Agni Yoga there is the head, the community, where it was written how to construct healthy society, how to become together instead of fighting and envy. And the Buddhism teaches how improve the person. But if the person is perfect and will follow Buddhism precepts, he will be able to get on with other people without aggression and violence. Then the person doesn't become neither master nor the slave. He will be equal right collaborator of society. Thanks a lot for letters from Latvia and for many letters of support. After all, I'm very glad indeed to receive letters like that, because this is one more proof that my work is helpful. I thank you all for support. Actually, I think that is just the beginning. I don't see any sense to prove you anything, because I know that life will explain you everything very quickly. Changes will begin very soon. Masks will be thrown down from people and from you too. People will shown for what they are, and they will realize themselves and everybody around, friends and unfamiliar people. So look after developments. Very interesting days and months will begin. One clairvoyant from Ust Abakan said to local press that Earth is giving a birth now. Nobody knows for how long will it last. 3 days, 3 months, or 3 weeks. It depends on us. How our consciousness will give birth to new notions. Our common consciousness is consciousness of the Earth. It's worth being serious with prophecies and recommend something based on them. You know, prophets are spiritual, profound people. I wouldn't ignore them. Another thing is that all prophecies are given to descendants for paying attention to them and for avoiding if they are negative. Even if dreams are prophetic but negative, you can change future based on them. We did it many times. Nothing of that became true. If prophetic dreams are positive, you are to do everything to realize them. Actually, prophecy is just one of many variants of the future. So, just about 80% of Vanga's prophecies came true, because future is multiversion, and I talk about it all the time. That's why I suggest that you choose a right way and nothing else. So, prophecies must be taken into account. After all, for a long time, I entrust responsibility for future to everybody. I talk about it. If you know any prophecy, do take responsibility and behave so that you could escape negative and reach positive. That's all. Here is an interesting letter. On December the 21st, I prayed. On December the 22nd, I had a sore throat. On December the 24th, I didn't pray at all. If it's seriously true, a person who wants to move to divine may feel bad if he has a lot of negative inside. Conflict begins between two different types of energy. Look at your spiritual level and at your inner life. Where is contradiction to divine commandments and ethics? To be closer to nature. I want humanity to be closer to nature very much. I've talked about it many times. We are able to combine all city welfare with small bulk. Small towns, excellent highways, roads connecting them, country, nature, fields, forests. All welfare will be attached. By no means you shall not keep these multi-store urban poisonous. This brings harm for your health. Many accidents show how it's dangerous to depend on electricity and may disappear at any moment. It's also dangerous to depend on communications that you didn't build, and you don't supply them. Authorities pay for them, but they don't work. Here comes interesting questions regarding financial crisis following money printing press. What do you think will happen to money? Actually, money today are by no means an economical term. Money is more like film-flam lottery. It's funny money, like sweet wrapper with no real value. It's secured with neither gold nor national produce. Nothing material secure money. Just some people misappropriated the right to press money and declare how much it would cost and how much we owe to them. Fine, then, let us every one of us produce money, assume the value of the money, and deprive others. Why are we being deprived? Why do these people misappropriate from us? Why they held back the central banks belong to the private people and provide money at exorbitant interest? Like they produce banknote costing 10 cents, declare its value as $100 and give it an interest. Today, the overall financial system is said to fleece, based on usury and leads to collapse. Collapse is the national building in the system. No wonder people and countries are running around with the only acute question: how to pay debts, how to save money. Social programs to pull in the belt, in spite of any indignation. Greece is going to sell islands. What for? For finding money with no security? Let's realize those who founded this system founded it to rule the world and parasitize on us. About church. How should we treat faithful believers' feelings? For Christian church has obviously came to crisis. It's time to separate church from the Jesus Christ. Church is ruled by people who hardly follow Christ's commandments firmly. They manage believers and declare monopoly for spiritually and spiritual authority. It's a kind of power, and it's supported by state power. I want believers to realize those who do not fulfill commandments of Christ have no right to speak on his behalf. And you may pray yourself, in your soul, with no human institutions above your head. We are not slaves, at least.